It's 1893. You are 26 years old. You have a suitcase, a train ticket, and a case of the most popular new drink in America. Your job is simple. Walk into pharmacies, hotels, soda fountains, and general stores. Tell them this drink will change their business. Leave a sample. Come back for the order. You are very good at this job. There is one thing nobody has told you. Every bottle you are selling contains cocaine. Not a trace, not a rumor. 9 milligrams per glass. Measured, intentional, and completely, totally legal. Welcome to your career. To understand what you're doing, you need to understand the world you're doing it in. It is 1893. America has just survived a brutal economic depression. The country is exhausted, anxious, and desperate for something that makes it feel better. Medicine in 1890s America is, to put it charitably, a creative enterprise. The pharmacy on Main Street sells cocaine toothache drops for children. Heroin is marketed as a cough suppressant. Morphine is prescribed for everything from anxiety to menstrual cramps. And doctors, real, licensed doctors, put their names on products they have never tested and know nothing about. This is normal. This is Tuesday. Into this world walks your product. Coca-Cola was invented in 1886 by a man named John Stith Pemberton. He was a Confederate veteran. He was addicted to morphine from a war wound, and he was trying to create a cure for his own addiction. He mixed coca leaf extract, the plant cocaine comes from, with cola nut, caramel, and carbonated water. He called it a brain tonic, a nerve medicine, a cure for morphine and opium addiction. He was, technically, treating addiction with a different addiction. But it tasted incredible. And in 1888, a businessman named Asa Candler bought the formula for $2,300. Candler was not a chemist. He was not a doctor. He was a salesman. And he saw something in this bottle that nobody else had quite understood yet. He saw you. Candler's genius was not the formula. It was distribution. He understood that the drink would go nowhere sitting in Atlanta. It needed to be everywhere. In every town, on every counter, in every hand. And so he built an army of people exactly like you. Your training was not complicated. Candler gave you a list of claims. You memorized them. You repeated them. Coca-Cola, you were told, relieves exhaustion, cures headaches, treats nerve disorders, is recommended by physicians. Some of those claims were technically true. Others were, let's say, optimistic. But here is the thing about selling something that actually works. You did not need to lie very hard. You walked into a pharmacy in Cincinnati. You offered the owner a free sample. He tried it. He liked it. His customers tried it. They liked it. They came back, and back, and back. Within 2 weeks, the man was ordering a case a month. You moved to the next town. Candler also gave you something else. Something nobody had ever used in American business quite this way before. Free stuff. Coupons for free glasses of Coca-Cola. Branded clocks for pharmacies. Painted Coca-Cola signs on barns across the American South. Calendars, trays, glasses, mirrors. Candler spent more on advertising in 1892 than almost any company in America. Not on newspapers, on objects, on presents, on the idea that Coca-Cola belonged in every room it entered. You were not just selling a drink, you were selling a feeling of familiarity. The more people saw the logo, the more they trusted it. The more they trusted it, the more they needed it. You didn't know how right that last part was. 3 months into your territory, you start to notice something. Your best customers are not casual drinkers. There is a woman in Knoxville. a pharmacist's wife. She started drinking Coca-Cola in the spring because her doctor recommended it for headaches. By summer, she is drinking 3 glasses a day. She orders it specifically. She will not accept a substitute. One afternoon you arrive to find her at the counter, hands shaking slightly, irritable, watching the door. The shipment was delayed 2 days. She has not had her Coca-Cola. You don't know what to make of this. You file it away. Then you notice it somewhere else. A hotel manager in Louisville. He keeps a bottle behind the desk. He drinks from it 3-4 times a day. When you ask him about it, he says it keeps him sharp. Says he tried stopping once. Says he won't do that again. A factory foreman in Memphis. Started on Coca-Cola when a company doctor recommended it for fatigue. Now the man budgets for it the way he budgets for rent. You are selling something people cannot stop buying. Candler knows this. He has always known this. The cocaine in Coca-Cola does not create violent addiction the way morphine does. It is diluted. It is mixed with sugar and carbonation. But it creates something subtler, a craving, a preference so strong it feels like need. This is, from a pure business perspective, extraordinary. You are not selling a drink. You are selling a habit. And habits, once built, once never break. By 1895, Coca-Cola is being sold in every state in America. Every single state. In 9 years, Candler has taken a product sold only in Atlanta and turned it into a national phenomenon. The company is worth millions. The brand is recognized from Maine to California. And you, if you have been doing your job well, are making more money than you ever imagined possible. But the world is starting to ask questions. It starts slowly. A few newspaper articles in the North. A doctor writing a letter to a medical journal. A women's temperance group, already furious about alcohol, turning their attention to patent medicines and what exactly goes inside them. Then, in 1898, Harvey Wiley enters the picture. Wiley is the chief chemist of the United States Department of Agriculture. He is a large, loud, stubborn man from Indiana. He has spent the last decade trying to get the federal government to regulate what goes into American food and drink. Nobody has listened to him. Yet. Wiley picks up a bottle of Coca-Cola. He reads the label. The label tells him nothing. Patent medicines in 1898 are not required to list their ingredients. He sends a sample to his laboratory. He reads the results. And then he starts writing letters. By 1900, the pressure is building. The temperance movement has latched onto Coca-Cola specifically. Not because of the cocaine, most of them don't know about the cocaine yet, but because of the caffeine. Because it's being sold to children. Because nobody knows what's in it. And Candler has a second problem. A growing number of physicians are writing about a condition they are seeing in their wealthiest patients. People who have been drinking Coca-Cola daily for years, who cannot stop, who become agitated and physically ill when they try. They do not use the word addiction. That word, in 1900, is reserved for morphine and opium. They call it coca dependency. Candler responds the way powerful men always respond to inconvenient science. He ignores it. He continues selling. He continues advertising. He continues building. The syrup goes to bottlers now, not just soda fountains, which means Coca-Cola is becoming something you can take home. And then, in 1906, the world changes. Congress passes the Pure Food and Drug Act. For the first time in American history, food and drug manufacturers must list what is in their products. This is the beginning of the end for the old world. Heroin cough syrup, gone. Cocaine toothache drops for children, gone. The shelf at the pharmacy that used to look like a chemistry experiment regulated, restricted, eventually emptied. And Coca-Cola? Coca-Cola has a decision to make. Candler hires chemists. He gives them one instruction: keep the taste, remove the problem. This is not easy. Cocaine is not just in Coca-Cola as a stimulant. The coca leaf extract that carries it also contributes to the flavor profile, the bitter, complex, slightly medicinal note that makes Coca-Cola taste like nothing else on earth. If you remove the cocaine, you might change the taste. And if you change the taste, you might lose everything. The chemists work for months. They develop a process, still used today, to de-cocanize the coca leaf, to strip out the cocaine alkaloid while preserving the flavor compounds. The Stepan Company in New Jersey will eventually become the only legal importer of coca leaf in the United States. They process it, they remove the cocaine, they ship the extract to Atlanta, and somewhere between 1902 and 1929, the exact date is still disputed, Coca-Cola quietly, without announcement, without fanfare, removes the cocaine from its formula. No press release, no apology, no acknowledgement that the cocaine was ever there. Just the same red logo, the same script lettering, the same taste, or close enough that nobody noticed. Nobody noticed. The customers who had been drinking it for years, the woman with the shaking hands, the hotel manager behind the desk, the factory foreman who budgeted for it like rent, they kept buying it. Not because of the cocaine, not anymore. Because by then, the habit was built. The brand was everything. The taste was memory. The routine was identity. They didn't need the cocaine. They needed Coca-Cola. And those are two completely different things. You retired sometime around 1910. You had sold Coca-Cola across 3 states. You had talked it into pharmacies, hotels, restaurants, and general stores. You had watched it go from a curiosity to a staple, from a patent medicine to a cultural institution. You probably never knew the full story of what was in the bottle. Candler never told his salesman. Why would he? You sold better when you believed. What you built, without knowing it, was something that would outlast every person in this story. Asa Candler sold the Coca-Cola Company in 1919 for $25 million. Pemberton, the man who invented it, died broke in 1888. He sold pieces of his formula to pay medical bills. He never saw a dollar of what it became. Harvey Wiley, the man who forced the formula to change, is now credited as the father of the FDA. His Pure Food and Drug Act is the foundation of modern consumer protection law. And Coca-Cola? Coca-Cola is now sold in every country on earth except 2, North Korea and Cuba. It is the most recognized brand in human history. The formula has been locked in a vault at the World of Coca-Cola Museum in Atlanta since 1925. Only 2 executives know it at any given time. They are never allowed to travel on the same plane. The company that started as a cocaine tonic sold by a morphine-addicted veteran is now one of the most valuable corporations on the planet. And somewhere in a pharmacy in Cincinnati in 1893, you handed a man a free sample. You smiled. You told him it would change his business. You had no idea how right you were. You were selling something the world had never seen and would never be able to stop. That's the thing about the best products in history. You don't buy them once. You build a life around them. And the people who sold them first, the ones walking door to door with a suitcase and a smile, they were just the first domino. This is Empire Archive. Behind every empire is a story they don't want you to know. If you didn't know what was in that bottle, now you do. Subscribe and come back for the next one.